Hey, Periscopers, how are you? Good morning, Paul Wozniak. Thanks for being with me here on Twitter at PRWoz. Currently on the air. Hey, need a wrench? Good morning. There's our on-air computer, and I'm in the studio here. Shammy Knoll, good to see you. Thanks for joining. It's October 29, so we're putting a wrap on Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We have gone pink all month long. Hey, Emma Marie Music, good morning. We've gone pink all month long to raise awareness, to help out with Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's been a great journey, and I have learned a lot. So I'm kind of synthesizing all those thoughts to wrap it up, and so we can think about how we're going to move forward and what we're going to do next year. So a bunch of thoughts from this month. First, the strategy of just screening for cancer. And I know it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but I'm just going to start referring to all cancers because really the rate of the increase of cancer is way up across the board. Breast Cancer Awareness Month is what inspires us to bring this here. I'm just going to talk about cancer in general, though. Screening as the strategy to stay healthy and to avoid having cancer, I don't think is enough. Screening will always have its place. It's always an essential pillar, but it's just not enough. And that's really where the majority of the messaging comes from, I think, during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, is just screening. And then the American Cancer Society came out and changed the mandatory age or the suggested ages for screening, kind of confusing the heck out of all of us. So I think that we need more. So as I've been going through this, I've been kind of thinking, okay, let's look to a time when there wasn't as much cancer in America as there is now. So we have to look back to the 1960s, the 50s, and before that. The rates started to increase in the 70s and 80s, and they started to multiply exponentially in the 90s to a scary level here post-millennium. So what's the difference between now and the 60s and 50s when cancer rates were lower? What's the difference in something we're all taking into our bodies between now and then? I think it's really safe to say that food is so much different now than it was in the 80s. What we eat, the way we eat it, the way we heat it, I don't think that food really resembles, the way we eat really resembles diet, right? Thank you, Emma Marie Music. The diet in the 60s at all. And, the rate of cancer in the 60s was much lower, and we're all eating. And so maybe that's something that we look at. We look at diet, okay? So what's the difference in the food now, right? Fast food, highly processed foods, foods that are super high in sugars, foods with high fructose corn syrup in them, soda, especially diet soda. And I will even venture to say microwaves are a very bad idea. There weren't any microwaves in the 1960s. I'm not talking about studies, I'm talking about logic. What's different then from what it is now? So food is one of the biggest ones. If we move beyond just screening as our strategy and think about prevention and what we can do for prevention, I think that just being curious about what we eat and thinking about what we eat and attempting to make a change for the better in what we eat is a good idea. I mean, we don't try to boil the ocean, right? You don't have to change everything in one moment, but start to gear ourselves toward that. Start to move away from our unhealthy habits and replace them with much healthier habits. The information that is out there is, it's endless. You can find so much information on healthy foods. You can find sources of super healthy foods that were much easier to find even 5 years ago. So we have the power through the internet, through the community, through the access that we have to healthier foods to make those changes. And I think that we should start making them. Staying away from greasy fast foods, foods high in sugars, foods with a lot of ingredients that we can't pronounce or have no earthly idea what they are, highly processed foods, foods that are high in high fructose corn syrup or fructose, and soda, especially diet soda. So that's what I think we should move away from and towards healthier options when it comes to what we eat. The other difference, I think, between now and a time when there were less cancers is we're much more highly stressed than we were now. So stress management is probably going to be a good idea. And also activity. I don't know what activity was like in the 60s, but I know that even any doctor that you ask, if you say, do you recommend that we exercise and are physically active, there's nobody that's going to tell you not to exercise. More exercise is pretty much always better. So that's what I'm thinking. You know, it's like screening as a prevention strategy really makes me feel helpless. Like, oh, okay, I'll just wait until the time comes when I have to get screened and hope that I don't have it. And yes, Nita Wrench, I think that you're right that genetics plays a huge role in getting cancer, but that's outside of our control. I'm just talking about the things that are within our control. So yeah, genetics is definitely going to play a big factor. But you know, any of the factors that we can control, I think that we should get after it, right? So food, activity, stress. You don't have to take it from me. Go ask somebody, ask the internet, ask whoever you want to how you can stay healthier, and I think they're going to have some ideas for you. Emma Marie says, my mom says eat clean and use essential oils to stay healthy and less stressed. Yes, I love essential oils. A nice peppermint when you wake up, that's the goods. And a nice eucalyptus for if you get a little stuffy, solid. So, thank you everybody who has helped us go pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It has taught me a ton, and it was a very enriching experience. I'm looking forward to continuing this even throughout the year and then really hitting the ground running next October with some great ideas. I like that comment, Nita Wrench. That will lower stress and make you happier for sure. Hey, thanks everybody for following me on Periscope and on Twitter at PRWaz. I'm going to post this on the website, and I hope you'll listen to our radio station at try1025.com. See ya!